Hey, church, this is Vince Miller. Thank you so much for joining me for another devotional. Today, we're going to be in John chapter 18. I'm going to read verses 17 through 18. It reads, "The servant girl at the door said to Peter, 'You also are not one of this man's disciples, are you?' He said, 'I am not.' Now, the servants and the officers had made a charcoal fire because it was cold, and they were standing and warming themselves. Peter also was with them, standing and warming himself." So I know I read this yesterday, but when I reread it again, it captured me in a new way. What Peter does in this instance is indicative of the problem with most believing men, or at least many of them. They stand around the campfire, silent, saying nothing. And I really think that believing men have become silent in our time. We live, we work, and we stand within proximity of others who hold a variety of different beliefs. People who work in influential roles in the public and private sectors, like the servants and officers of this text. God even orchestrates these moments to give us opportunities to share the truth. He brings us into close proximity using very natural circumstances, just like here, the cold of the night. But professing believers like Peter do nothing and say nothing. We stand around the campfire silent, fellas. And the sad part is that believing men have actually learned to do this. We learned to do this. We have been trained to be silent by the shame of the world or the fear of persecution. That's it. We have convinced ourselves a personal faith can exist privately and doesn't need to go public because, well, we're afraid of persecution, which only leads to atrophy. And you know what atrophy is. It's that gradual decline in effectiveness due to underuse or neglect, like when you put a cast on your arm for too long and your muscles atrophies, right? And once spiritual atrophy sets in your life, it paralyzes men in all kinds of other experiences. Believing men then become silent in the church, silent in their marriage, silent with their children, silent when it comes to personal sin, and then they live lives of quiet desperation, confused and convinced that something needs to change, but they don't know what to do or what to say. So instead of doing something or saying something, they continue to stand around the campfire in the cold, contemplating their own personal failure. And then they just wallow in the mire. So let me encourage you to do something today. Stop doing that. Stop being silent. Break free from your spiritual atrophy today. Declare a struggle, repent from a sin, activate a spiritual discipline, lead your family spiritually, share your stinking faith and belief in Jesus with somebody else. But don't do what Peter did here. Don't stand around the campfire in the silence of the cold of the night, doing nothing. Because if you do, you are training yourself to be spiritually apathetic. And spiritually apathetic men are spiritually pathetic. So there's your kick in the butt today. Don't be spiritually pathetic, all right? And by the way, share this with someone else who needs a kick in the butt, and I'll see you right back here again tomorrow.